One Piece. This is One Piece, chapter 1044, Warrior of Liberation. I guess some shit went down in this chapter. So we got a little cover page. Apparently, Niji and Yanji are about to get experimented on. That'll be fun.
The one on the right looks like he's going through emotions.
Yanji?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems pretty pissed.
The one on the left doesn't seem like he cares, though.
Yeah, Niji... Yeah, Yanji would be the younger one, so I think he still somewhat experiences emotion. But anyway, they're about to get experimented on. And meanwhile, we open with just this voice saying, "What happened to me? Why can't I still stand?" And it turns out it seems to be Luffy getting up from getting absolutely hornswoggled by Kaido. And he's sending waves of Conqueror's Haki across Onigashima. Momonosuke responds to what Zoe said about Luffy, about him being Joy Boy. And Sanji, from inside of the pleasure hall, gets up because the Conqueror's Haki is so intense. Eustace Kid and Law look up as well, like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" We got Hyogoro reacting. We got Marco reacting. Nami and Otama are very relieved that Luffy seems to be alive right now. And then we cut back to Marijois, who are talking about how they've just lost an elite agent who, as we saw last time One Piece was here, he got absolutely destroyed by Kaido. So they're just lamenting that fact and the fact that they made Kaido angry. So they're like, what was the point of all this? This guy who looks like a world leader, whose name I forget. I think they're all modeled after world leaders, actually. But yeah, one of them is just like, what if I told you that there was a potential future that would make us beg for this outcome? Beg. So
losing an elite agent.
Yeah.
And making Kaido upset.
Yeah. He reminds them that it's always better to eliminate dangerous variables. And Samurai Elder is talking about how in every era of the world, the government has attempted to recover the gum fruit.
Oh, that was a drop, guys, by the way. They mentioned that before, I think, right?
Yeah.
That the government had it when Shanks, snatched it from them. But it was... I don't think it was ever outright said that the government actively is trying to avoid, actively trying to gain possession of the fruit.
Yeah, that has been revealed, and it turns out that they're like thinking of it as if like the devil fruit's trying to escape their grasp. That no matter how many times they've tried, it's always seemed to get away from them, and it very well might be. They mentioned that Zoan fruits contain a will of their own, and this particular one has the name of a god. The other name of the gum fruit is the Zoan type human fruit mythical type model Nika.
All right, before we continue, I do want to bring something up, right? Mm-hmm. So, I remember cracking jokes for years about like the like objects having fruits.
Yeah.
And how silly that shit sounded. But in every situation, they were all Zoan fruits.
Yeah.
Which explains a lot because they have a will. So it makes sense that they'd be alive, or that it could be transferred into the essence of an object and make it become alive.
Mm-hmm.
It went from being completely silly to making so much sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Wow. In terms of giving the items, that's a pretty good point. The items that have eaten devil fruits have, I think, pretty much all been Zoan. That's the gun that ate the dog fruit, and Spandam sword that ate the elephant fruit. But that's interesting. But yeah, Luffy apparently does not have the gum fruit. It is actually the mythological Zoan type fruit, Nika, that houses the abilities of Nika the sun god. Holy shit. And apparently Nika possessing a body with the properties of rubber and fighting in whatever way he fancies, brings smiles to the faces of the people. The warrior of liberation.
It's very vague.
Yeah.
Not the warrior of liberation. That's very clear. And it's almost beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye damn near. However, he can do anything he fancies, Chris.
Yeah. Dude, I mean...
Sounds like Popeye to me.
You know, I mean...
Did you see that death battle yet?
No. But it is
shit.
not... It's not coincidental that Luffy ended up fighting Bluno, a.k.a. Bruno from Popeye. Popeye conspiracies. Continue onward. Are you remembering Bluno, the door guy? His name was Bluno.
I didn't know that. You remember these things, man. That's great.
One of us.
Yes, that's just what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it goes without saying. The government then says that it is said that in all of the world there is no power more ridiculous.
Not more stronger. He says ridiculous. I think that matters.
Yeah, that's a very important distinction. So meanwhile, at the treasure repository, second floor in Onigashima, Orochi's still stuck underneath all this rubble after the ceiling caved in on him, and Hiyori has been using her sea prism nails to like fucking play this instrument to keep Orochi subdued and unable to use his dragon fruit. So now he's just basically begging for his life. He's just like, come on, man. I love Joden, man. This is not me. This is Kaido. Kaido's making me do it.
I've been a pawn this whole time.
Yeah, this whole time. I'm not a dick, I promise. I'm not a douchebag.
All those times I was mean to everybody and you, that was all just for fake.
It was for Kaido.
For play, not for real.
If I didn't shoot that guy in the face, Kaido would have killed me. If I didn't kill the young Don, Kaido would have killed me.
Oh, he did. He can't ever be forgiven.
No, he won't be, as we can see. Hiyori basically, in so many words, tells him to go fuck himself. After Odin just made that deal to liberate Wano, they still made a fool out of him. And they, at the end of the day, they still ended up killing him. So, I'm not doing shit. You're going to die here. And Orochi is like, fuck! What do I do now? That's when the fucking weird Kanjuro's flame thing comes through. And is like, Lord Orochi, I am spent.
I'm spent.
I'm spent.
I guess that means he's tired.
Yeah. And Orochi's just like, perfect timing. Murder this woman.
He flipped immediately.
This is a new play I want to give you to perform. Burn that woman to death. We'll call it the failure of the woman's 20-year revenge. I'm like, God damn, dude.
That was off the top of the head, too. I mean, like, he's just vicious.
Yeah.
While he's dying.
Yeah.
Come up with some asshole shit to say.
Yeah. Kanjuro's thing actually ends up burning Orochi instead. So I guess he's going to burn to death.
Yeah, I don't know why he does that, but maybe he was listening to everything Orochi said and was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's time for us to die.
Yeah.
We ain't shit.
We ain't shit.
We ain't shit.
After all this, I learned something today, and that's we ain't shit.
Right. So, I mean, I just fought all 6 of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm ready to die.
Yeah. Bye. So, as Hiyori watches her mortal enemy burn to death, we see Luffy just bouncing around, being like, ooh, I can do everything I wanted to. This is the pinnacle of what I can do. This is Gear 5. Hell yeah.
Man, I think we need the horns for that one.
Oh, yeah, this is one of these. Well, honestly, there's a better moment that probably needs the arms. So as Kaido is wreaking havoc inside of the fucking performance floor, all of a sudden, the lightning strikes of Conqueror's Haki blast through the ceiling, and Kaido's like, "Whoa, what is up there on the roof?" And then
he watches all his men die from seizures. Whoa.
He's like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Now, you see, this don't really make a lot of sense because all these people sensed Luffy. And, obviously it was probably the people who had observation. Kaido has observation haki. How did he not fucking notice? Was he that much of a rage?
Yeah, I guess
doubt it.
Maybe.
I think oversight. It's okay.
Well, maybe
Oda gets a pass on those.
Maybe it took him a minute to realize because he's watching his men die.
Yeah, plus he's not soft at all. So, well, I guess only when he drinks. But maybe that's why it took a little while for him to notice because he's such a gangster, too.
Yeah. But
it's like your gangster vibes don't affect me. Not for a little while, then he may.
Yeah. All of a sudden, a giant fucking fist comes through, grabs Kaido right in the middle of his body like a fucking tube of Go-Gurt. Like, just like if you were to go into the fridge and grab a Go-Gurt dramatically. And everybody already knows what time it is. Everybody's like, Luffy, hell yeah! And Luffy just yanks Kaido through the roof. And then just cartoon style, he just slams him around. You remember that part in Avengers where Hulk does the whole thing?
Yeah.
He does that to Kaido.
He spins him around.
Yeah.
Slams him.
Yeah, does the whole ba 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 left and right thing.
And then tosses his ass.
Yeah. And then Kaido tries to counter with this blast breath.
The dragon beam.
Yeah, after thanking him for surviving. And Luffy notices his eyes bulge out like a fucking cartoon.
Like a Looney Tune character.
Yeah, and then he yanks the ground up, turns that shit into rubber, reflects the fucking blast back at Kaido, blows him up, and we get pretty much the full design of Gear 5 as Luffy is laughing his ass off. Kaido seems to eat his own attack, and he's like, "I'm sorry about that idiot earlier. I didn't want to win that way." And Luffy tells him, "Don't sweat it. Let's just finish this
It's no big deal. You ready to die? You ready to dive through combat?
Yeah.
Because I'm ready.
Yeah.
I've been ready.
My goodness. Well, there it is. This is the chapter that even scanlators were like, all right, guys, stay off the internet for a while. This is going to get crazy.
So, did we all kind of see this coming? Sure.
Yes,
but not
no.
like this.
Yeah.
Right. Yes and no.
There's a little bit of an amalgamation of everybody's theories in one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally a little bit of everything. Well, I'll go to my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right?
What are your thoughts, Josh?
I mean, wow, this is incredible. For me, what was really all right. What probably surprised me the most was the classification of the fruit, right? Because I initially believed that whatever this Joy Boy situation was, it probably was going to be linked to the power that he had. I thought it was maybe other people have had the fruit in the past, which, is the case. But it's not that it's an awakening of his gum fruit as a paramecia. It's that it was actually a Zoan, which sparks a lot of questions. I mean, well, not sparks, but it brings a lot of questions, right? I mean, think of the nature of Zoan fruits. They're transformative. So they have their base form, their in-between form, and then their full animal form. So how does this work for someone like Luffy who has the human fruit? Obviously, he's not turning into another animal. He's turning into a supreme Looney Tune being, right? But how does this work in conjunction with his other abilities? Do we take into account that he said Gear 5? So is he a paramecia until he gets into Gear 5 and then it transforms into a Zoan? Is it always a Zoan? There's I have a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. I have more thoughts, but do you have any immediate rebuttals?
Okay. All right.
That?
So here's how I think it works. And obviously, everything we're about to say and kind of think on is, what's my favorite word? Conjecture.
Or 100% fact.
Could be. I mean, if we're right, we're right. If we're right, we're right about this. So, take all of this with a grain of salt. We don't know.
The penicillin.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like a more dramatic way of saying it.
Yeah. So take that. Okay. So here's how I interpret this. And this is kind of like getting into my thoughts about it. It's kind of interesting. I don't want to impede over your thoughts about it, but the way I see how it works in conjunction with his abilities, I like to think that like this is the awakening. So this is like the peak of the Nika fruit, top tier. This is the full potential of it.
Right. Everything
that Luffy has experienced of it is, I guess, for a lack of a better way of describing it, that's his like hybrid human form. Whenever he stretches, whenever he does a gear, those are all
varying strength levels to that middle until he has finally
until he hits here.
So okay, all right. No, that's actually when I was having a conversation earlier with somebody about this chapter. That's actually what I believed as well. That that's how it could kind of work. But then when you think about awakening, right? Like when Zoan fruit users awaken, how does that work for them? Because with Paramecias, we see when they awaken, they gain it. The way it usually, I guess, the way I see it is that they gain like an ability, like a certain skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like Doflamingo had the birdcage, right? That was his awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Law and Kid with their Kroom and
birdcage isn't an awakening for him. Birdcage for the awakening for Doflamingo was being able to turn his environment into string.
Whoa, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, well, sure, but that's a technique in of itself, right?
Yeah.
So is it different for Logias? Do Logias have a separate awakening? We don't know yet, right?
Hey, every awakening we've seen up to this point has been Paramecias, even Laws and Kids.
Right.
So we actually don't know what an awakening necessarily looks like for a Zoan.
Somebody said that when Zoans awaken, they just become way more durable.
That's possible.
Or just way more of whatever they are. Like, it's not really like a specific skill they gain. It's just they get more powerful in general.
Yeah.
Kind of like an enhancer type in Hunter x Hunter, guys.
Ooh, somebody's been watching.
Go!
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I think like there's a distinction to Zoan fruits being different from all the other types, seeing as how they will have a will of their own.
Right.
So, I mean, there could be a lot that could be read into what an awakened Zoan would do and what would it be.
So in this particular case, Luffy's awakening with this fruit is just gaining that form.
Yes. And which the subsequent remaining abilities that are available to Nika.
Within it, right. Because it goes along with the form, but as opposed to other Zoans, maybe like someone like Chopper. Well, I'm not gonna bet on someone like Chopper getting an awakening or whatever. But like, what's another Zoan? Like the Flame Bird guy, Phoenix Man, Marco the Phoenix, right? Was that an awakening for him once he was able to turn into full bird?
Well, full bird, I mean, maybe. It's possible. Like, the full bird form of his fruit is potentially his awakening. The way I could see it is that in his regular, like, when he was a youth, all he could probably access was the wings, because we've seen him do it when he was young, and all he did was the wings.
But there had to have been other lower level, Zoan users that could go full animal without saying like, yeah, they probably have not awakened their fruit because they're not strong.
No, yeah, going full animal does not make you an awakened Zoan. So I mean, that's just that's my guess. I don't know how it would work.
You understand the point of me like, right? Because we're trying to figure out, is this truly his awakening? Because he could have another step to this. He could have a Gear 6, which is the awakening of, because all he's doing to me. What it seems like is he's finding, like he's unlocking the true potential of what his fruit is, which is incredibly powerful, but that doesn't mean he's awakened it yet.
That's what awakening means, is the full potential of your fruit. 100%.
That all right. So this is
maybe
he's always had it at 50%. Now this is like 80%, and the awakening is like the remaining 20. That's
could be. I mean, there's I
think it's plausible
for sure. There's a factor that like Luffy does not know this information. All of this,
I don't think he knows that at all.
Absolutely. So he doesn't know that he has the Nika fruit. He still sees it as the gum gum fruit in his mind.
Right.
So that could be a thing. But. Do you have any other?
Yes, I do have a couple more thoughts. I'm gonna go into my notes. So, I guess we kind of already talked about the gears. Right. That perfect. Then the transformation, knock that out. Okay, see, this is something I don't really care about too much, but it was such a spicy discussion prior to figuring this out about the whole, Luffy being Pirate Jesus and all that. I want to hear your thoughts on this, right? Obviously, the fruit chose Luffy, without a doubt. Shanks may have gotten it. Well, all right, I say it. All right, not without a doubt, but I believe so because Shanks may have stolen it, but Luffy got into that box.
Yeah.
How?
I think that's what we're gonna learn in the next few chapters.
Maybe.
But
they did say the fruit has a will of its own. So
sure.
So let's just say, for argument's sake, that may have been the case, that the fruit chose him. That doesn't mean that Luffy was always fated to have it. How do you feel about that?
That's entirely possible. I mean, there's several ways you can think about it. It's either Shanks stole it and brought it to his village intentionally so Luffy could eat it. It could be that was a genuine accident on Shanks's part, and Luffy just coincidentally just ate it. Or the fruit somehow called to him in one way or another, compelled him to eat it. Because, as the government has noted, this fruit seems to be consciously trying to escape the government. So, I don't know. I think like it's more of a design from Shanks than we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually more inclined to believe that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he also went out of his way and lost his arm for Luffy. And that's when he had the fruit, right?
Well, here's the thing.
No, that was prior.
I think he definitely definitely. There's a chance he probably wouldn't have taken that L if Luffy hadn't eaten the gum gum fruit by that point.
Oh, so he ate it after. Like, this was after he...
Yeah,
right.
Luffy already ate it.
And that's not to say he didn't care about Luffy.
But
the way he reacted... I guess he might have tried to, I don't know.
The way I see it is that like if that's the way that it goes, then Shanks, seeing that Luffy ate the Nika fruit, was like, well, I can't let this go.
Right. Oh, hell no.
It's better to. It could be that Shanks is like, okay, so I didn't intend for this to happen. That Luffy, but he did. He ate it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to kind of guide him down the path that I want him to go. I have to make sure that like he becomes a pirate specifically, and that he plays his role the way I think that I wanted this fruit to play the role in.
Shanks inspired him to be a pirate in the first place, right?
Yeah, but that was already like established before he ate the fruit, kind of. But he's definitely like the main guy.
He wanted to be a pirate back with Ace and Sabo.
No, he met Ace and Sabo after he ate the gum gum fruit, and after that whole thing with Shanks.
What?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, directly after that, Garp took him to the mountains. Because he already had the gum gum fruit when he met Ace and Sabo. That wouldn't have made sense. He met Ace and Sabo after he ate the gum gum fruit, after the Shanks thing, because he had the straw hat.
Oh,
he didn't always have it. He did like the straw hat.
He looked way younger though.
I think that's just the way that Oda drew him, like the way his art style has changed.
All right, okay. I guess it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Now it makes the whole situation with Shanks even more curious. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Red hair, man. That fucking red hair.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't. All right. There was one other question I had, which was the possibility of other people owning fruits, right? And if there's only been maybe just like maybe those 3 people in history, right? Nika, Joy Boy, and now Luffy. Or has there been multiple people who have had the gum gum fruit over the course of 800 years, but only those 3 had been able to awaken it.
No. Joy Boy was the last one to have this.
For sure.
It's not emerged since Joy Boy had it.
Okay.
So, I mean, at least that's what I'm drawing from the context clues they're giving here. Is that nobody else has had this fruit in between Joy Boy and Luffy. Mm-hmm. Which is fascinating. But yeah, I think it was Joy Boy. It's been lost forever. The world government found it. Shanks stole it, and now it ended up with Luffy.
Really interesting. All right, I guess my final thoughts is just going to be about the design choice for what happened here. Mm-hmm. Man, I wanted to crack a lot of jokes throughout the chapter, but I knew we was going to have a lot of discussion.
Oh, yeah.
I guess next week we'll have a lot to say. Is it on break, actually?
No, it's actually coming back.
What? Wow. I'm genuinely surprised. I love his design. I don't remember if I mentioned it before, but I didn't really care for his Gear 4. Snake Man looked cool. I didn't like the bulky look. I thought it looked real weird for Luffy, for someone that's supposed to be all bendy and stretchy and shit. Mm-hmm. For this to be this bulky mass. I didn't feel like, to me, it didn't sell that he was stronger. It just made him kind of look like a bigger target. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't like how he's bouncy. I liked the utility of it, which is why I accepted it. I liked it made sense, the abilities it gave him. Just didn't love the design. This really suits Luffy. He just looks like Super Saiyan Luffy. Like how Goku just looks like Super Saiyan Goku.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like it. It's a nice touch, and it aligns perfectly with who Luffy is. And I can't wait to see how they interpret his ability. Because I don't think he's outright reality warper. I think there's going to be clear limitations to what he can do. Mm-hmm. But man, it's going to be fun finding out what the extent is. Okay. Now I'm going to pass the baton to you. Do you have any overall thoughts left?
Yeah. I thought a lot about this chapter, just because on the initial, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Because when you get like these big twists, and I think that's what's going along with like a lot of the discourse, is that like you're never going to satisfy everybody with with any plot point.
Right.
Like there's no way, especially with something like this, there's a lot of buildup. I love this chapter. The design of Gear 5, although we don't get like massively good looks of it, this last panel is fucking cool.
I like his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes are cool. He has like these fun cloud eyebrows. Uh-huh. It's cool, man.
Yeah, it looks...
It's different too. I heard somebody said that like somebody designed... And like TikTok community, I got to get off of like One Piece TikTok because you guys are so smart. And you got like some of you guys like really do just... like make me think, damn, yeah, you guys are smart as shit. But I forget his name. I'll put his username here, because I want to credit this idea real fast. I want to cite him before I get into my original thoughts that I thought of. Okay. But he said that like the design of Gear 5 Luffy is very much in character with Luffy as a person. Mm-hmm. Out of all the shonen protagonists, it's all like cool factor. All this weird, dark, thematic thing. Like, think about the Nine-Tailed Fox forms. Think about, except for, like, the main, Sage, Nine-Tailed Fox, big Super Saiyan form. Think about all of Ichigo's forms. Mm-hmm. Luffy's is the only one that's based in being, like, a fucking goofball.
Even Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Even, like, newer series, older series. Even series that aren't typical shonen series. Like... Hajime no Ippo, when they're in their technique or form, it doesn't look silly.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a silly. It's like devoid of cool. That's what this guy said. It's like it's not trying to be cool. It's trying to be loyal to the character, which is monumentally important. But yeah, my thoughts on this chapter is also based on like a lot of people disputing like, is this an ass pull or not? That's the big debate going on with this chapter.
Okay.
And look, if you want to call it an ass pull, I can't super blame you. It's hard to say, feel how you feel. I'm honestly looking forward to reading One Piece over again with the context that this is not the Gum fruit. This is the Nika fruit. This is the human fruit, model Nika. And see if that changes anything in terms of how Luffy has used his power. And I think it does a lot. but I'll start with this. A lot of people have asked if the government knew that like this was the gum fruit, why is it that they've seen Luffy use this fruit and they didn't do something about it way earlier?
Well, I think it has more to do with what I said actually a few episodes ago, where which I thought I think is a good explanation. So I think when Joy Boy had the fruit, nobody recognized it in its in-between form because he probably had it awakened by the time he was actually making moves and becoming a known figure in the world, you know? By the time he was doing things to annoy the shit out of the government for where they was on he was on a list or whatever, or they started noticing him, I'm pretty sure he had his power awakened. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm gonna go with, you know?
Yeah.
So like them, all right. The government, I'll tell you this: the world leaders may know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, like, you can believe that they knew and that they tried to take him out at certain points. But, no, I don't know. I guess they could have made a stronger effort. I'm going to go, no. Okay. All right. Let me regroup real quick. Let me regroup my thoughts. The higher-ups can know, but they may not want the ones just beneath them and lower to know, because that might spur unrest. You know, like I can't really give a whole bunch of reasons why. With a little bit more time and thought, I'd love to back up those thoughts. But I think it could work. I think it could work, and no one's seen that shit in 800 years.
Yeah,
none of the regular people he had fought. It's super plausible that none of them would be aware. All they would say is, yeah, you got to take Luffy down, which they had started to do once he started making a bigger name for himself. I think he was ignored up until what? What's the desert area?
Alabasta.
Yeah. I think he was ignored until Alabasta. They knew he was the Straw Hat crew, but they probably didn't know, oh, Rubber Man beats the shit out of Crocodile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They probably didn't really put two and two together until like it was right in their face. And then I think they did start to make moves. Kuma pulled up and split the whole crew apart because he understood. You know, they all knew the crew was special. Everyone, like most of the important figures I seen them after a certain point in the story, I think had an understanding. So
yeah,
I'm not.
That's possible.
Listen, everything. I'm not naive, bro. I guarantee you guys, there's way more ass pulls than y'all know it in our favorite fucking series. You feel me? Because you know what the difference is. How is it executed? Dog. Didn't he bring up Nika during the Fishman arc? Did he? When they were the Sun God, didn't they? They did. Tigerfish, bro. Tigerfish was like the best character in this series. I'm sorry, man. Like they need to bring that story back or something. We need to get more information about him.
Well, they're the Sun Pirates,
and that was based on Nika.
Well, Nika is said to be like the god of the slaves. They're the ones that like they look to him. He's the one who has liberated them a long time ago,
right? In
his era.
So this seed was at least planted at the beginning of the time skip.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
There was a conception of a sun god.
Right. And
there's also the conception of fruits being deities, mythological creatures. Sengoku is Buddha, for God's sake. He's not a god, but, you know, he's
for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. He's a religious figure.
Yeah.
Right. But, yeah, my theory, and I think like this little speech bubble where they call it the other name of the gum fruit kind of throws a wrench in this theory I have. But my theory originally was like, well, maybe there is an actual paramecia fruit known as the gum fruit. So they couldn't really draw that conclusion for Luffy. Like Luffy could very well have what is the real gum fruit. And there's no way to verify until this happened. But, you know, I mean, maybe it's the wording of this.
Because he understood it in his head that he was I don't know.
But
it's the way they worded it, right? It was because they said it as if, yeah, we knew that the gum fruit is really just this. But, like...
Yeah, my original thought before I thought of this is just like, well, maybe there is just another gum fruit. And they're just like, well, we can't possibly, if this is like Nika or not. Because if they have like a similar power set,
No, but then it wouldn't be. I mean,
I don't think that's what it is now.
No, because even in their words, he says, "Look, look, look." The government has attempted to recover the gum fruit.
I know. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
Again, just so we're clear, my explanation was that they didn't even know he had the gum group. That someone even was using the gum from fruit and turning shit up until like it got towards the time skip anyway. Mm-hmm. So they got when they fought Moria and they got to Annie's lobby and all that. I think
but he fought in Marineford. A lot of fucking soldiers saw him stretching his limbs and shit.
Right, and I think they did. I think they wanted to deal with him. I think that was a part of the reason the guy.
They were definitely trying to kill him,
place,
but
right?
not for the reasons they know. And I think you're actually probably right about that. Is that they're very withholding, even within their own people.
Well, that's what he's gonna have to make it about. He's gonna have to make it that they couldn't tell if he's gonna make it seem like they've known about the gum fruit, like because my explanation only covers for like the first half of the series. The second half, it's where everyone's very clear and knows who the fuck Luffy is, and he has a top bounty and all that. And Oda's got a little bit of work to do on that.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gotta trust Oda at this point because this guy has meticulously planned.
Bro, he's the warrior of fucking liberation. Maybe he did pull it out of his ass in the past couple years after all of this bullshit he's seen happening on fucking social media. And by the bullshit. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into all of that, man. Look, he's the warrior of liberation. He will fight against the oppressive government.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck where he pulled that out of? Let's go. Let's go full force with it. That's how I feel. I'm going to be honest, Chris. Mm-hmm. That's exactly how I feel. I'm very biased.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It all depends. Whether you think this is like well executed or not, I don't think this is an ass pull. Because if you think back to how Luffy uses the gum fruit, and you think about every power up he's had, and like this has been a thing with like Luffy that people have addressed. There's certain moments like think about Red Hawk.
That's exactly what my coworker said, man. He actually brought up Red Hawk, and I was like, I thought he just was rubbing his hands together really fast.
This is the funny thing, though. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Oda opened a line of credit with his audience in terms of suspension of disbelief.
Right.
He's the only artist I've ever seen to pay it back in this way. Like we see Luffy like ignite his fucking fist underwater, and we're like, okay, all right. Maybe it's a metaphorical fire.
Hey, right. Yeah. Maybe it's like aura. Mm-hmm. That's the second time.
Yeah. But no, I mean, think about it. Luffy's abilities and power-ups are based like all their genesis is like start in the mind. It's what he can imagine. That's why we don't see him train really. It's that like Luffy in his off time is literally just like think about how he talks about Gear Second to Bluno way back in Enies Lobby. He said, I thought of a way to fight so I would never have to lose anybody. Like the idea is like how can I increase my speed and strength? Mm-hmm. And he just kind of manifested it by thinking.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's like obviously that's in line with what Nika can do in theory is that like if you can think it, you can do it. And it's all within the bounds of his rubbery body, Right. And the further he gets down the gear system, the closer he resembles Nika. He starts in Gear Second. He's faster. He's stronger. He hits Gear Third. He can make his limbs giant. Mm-hmm. He hits Gear Fourth. Bounce Man. He has like the fucking. He's lit. Gear Fourth Bounce Man is modeled after a religious statue in Japan.
Oh,
like it looks like this.
Okay,
it's that pose.
Wow. So that's kind of
Snake Man
getting there. Yeah.
Looks exactly like Nika without the fire hair that he has now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it gets step by step. He physically and in terms of the usability of his powers gets closer and closer to Nika with each step up in the gear system. Red Hawk, he wanted to immortalize Ace. He found a way, his powers just acclimated to that request in a somewhat believable way.
If you rub rubber together, it can make fire.
Yeah,
right?
friction.
Sure. Okay.
The
Okay.
concept
So
of
it's
friction.
So he's not like negating reality or nothing like that. He's within the confines of his. If you can do it with rubber, if it's possible with rubber,
you could do it.
Yeah, and then you can't stretch of imagination.
Yeah, you can't snap your fingers and kill all mutants.
Yeah,
but you can morph your body and morph your surroundings. It looks like into rubber,
which is plausible. That's really cool.
Yeah.
While also still being tame, I can appreciate that as a seasoned manga reader.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I trust Oda to have a multi-chapter explanation covering all bases. I mean, people forget that this arc has the longest flashback in One Piece to Odin's, where they explain like various little moments.
It did take a long. I want to actually go back and read that flashback.
So
I feel like I need to like reinvigorate myself.
It's just so cool, that flashback, because then you like go to these like islands that we've been to before, and it's like, wow, it's like nostalgia. Mm-hmm. It's like One Piece greatest hits. He's like, we're here in Skypiea, we're here in Sabaody.
I know, that shit was so dope, man.
Yeah. Really cool. But anyway, I don't think this was an ass pull. You can debate all you want about the execution. I don't think I'll argue with most people here. The concept of like Nika specifically hasn't been brought up. Like the Sun God hasn't been brought up in a long time. So I buy it if people are a little apprehensive to buy it. And the execution kind of fucks up people's believability about this. But I think Oda played this really cool. In terms of...
If you guys want to be mad, yo...
Yeah, why do you want to be mad
Sorry.
For? This is cool.
I guess I could say the same thing with My Hero Academia, but... well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, I mean, why are you going to spend... This is manga, dude. Power-ups come out of nowhere all the time.
Sure.
Come on.
No, they definitely do.
They do. They
definitely do.
What do you want? Hunter. We can't all be Hunter x Hunter, where we show every grueling step of the training process.
You're right, because you know what happens, and you get fucking scoliosis. Oh, whatever's wrong with him, man. I'm so sorry.
You get ultra scoliosis. I hope you get better, man. Yeah. Kurapika.
Dude, that announcer, he didn't start pulling up yet, but he has been. Y'all really made it seem like...
Bro,
it took a while for him. He did start a little bit in this arc.
Once you get to the middle of Chimera.
All right, can I tell you exactly where I'm at right now?
Where are you?
Okay. Gon and Killua split off from the other hunters to go to fight those three officers.
Okay.
So I'm pretty deep in the arc. I think it's like towards the end.
I mean, weirdly enough, the Chimera Ants arc is such a long arc.
It is long, but I'm over the hump.
Trust me.
I'm over the hump.
You're not at the part
They're
where
already left.
Where the narrator comes in and
all right. Oh wow.
Okay. Becomes your best friend.
Is there another arc after this?
Yes, there's one arc, and then it's over.
Then it's okay. So I have something to look. I thought Chimera Ant was going to be the end. I was really sad. Okay. Anyway,
Josh and I are animes only for Hunter x Hunter, but
yeah. No, I read the manga when it comes out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's One Piece. I think I'm done. I feel like I had more, but I didn't write down any notes, unfortunately.
Oh, man. I mean, there was a lot to say, but hopefully you guys have some responses and we could continue the conversation.
Oh,
I'd love to.
This is my certified really good chapter of the week, obviously. Is it yours? No? Oh, man. I'll do mine.
Yeah, it was. This is a retroactive. All right, I'll be honest, it was retroactive.
No, you can't. You gotta. What's your heart telling you, Josh?
I don't know. My heart is telling me One Piece, man, because before it was clearly something else. Which, come on, what else? But I've reading this and all of the conversation it sparked in this podcast outside of it, I gotta give it to One Piece, man.
Well, I'm counting this as a unified really good chapter of the week.
Oh shit.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Can you pause?
That's actually Frankie's theme song.
Oh.
But yeah, oops. I assume this is also Brian's really good chapter of the week. I think he would give it to One Piece. I don't think there's any way he couldn't. But I really want to hear his thoughts about it, so next week we'll ask him. But at the moment, I guess that's it for One Piece. I mean, what else can you say? This shit's phenomenal. Let us know what you guys think.
I can't wait to
I'm
see
so
him get ragged.
So relieved.
I want
that
him to
it's-
easy mode Kaido.
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it now. He can.
No, Luffy's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
We call that Easy Monday GG.
Right.
But yeah. Let us know what you guys think about everything we talked about. If we missed anything, if you have any questions for us to answer next week, if you have any thoughts about it, let us know, please. I'd love to get a general oversight of what people are thinking about this chapter.